All right, well, welcome everyone. My name is Neil Goldman. I'm the Vice President of the Board, and Roger Bonuelos, our President, is not with us this evening. So on his behalf and for our board, welcome. I officially open the meeting this evening at 6:04. We're going to, let's see. Oh, the roll call, actually. There we go.
Dr. Goldman?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Dr. Goldman?
Here.
Ms. Kathy?
Present.
Mr. Martinez?
Present.
Mr. Benuelos and Ms. Legaspi are absent.
Ms. Mayberry, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead, with the right hand over your heart, repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. There were no actions in closed session that would need to be reported out. So we will move on to 4.1 and the adoption of the agenda. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
Yeah, motion.
Second.
Thank you, Nelson and Rebecca. It's going to be a lot of that this evening, guys.
You and I, Rebecca.
Who's faster on the trigger?
Can we get the agenda projected to? Or something?
That's Wendy, correct?
Oh, sorry.
Thus, we will now move to 5.1 from the public for public comment items not on the agenda. We remind any public speakers we have 3 minutes by bylaws. So please, we ask you keep your comments to 3 minutes. So we do have at least one public comment. Glad to have you here from Tondra Gardner. And if you'd please come to the lectern and talk to us about your public comment.
You may have to push the button. There's a power button on the actual.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Tondra Gardner, and I am here on behalf of Connections for Children, which is your local resource and referral agency. My colleague joined me as well. And we just wanted to share some information that we feel will be beneficial for your Weisburn families and staff. So our agency has been known in the community as the place where families can get free childcare referrals and receive assistance and getting that childcare paid for if needed. But we do so much more than that. So we just wanted to kind of just run through a few of the services that we feel would benefit the children and families in this community. So we have family time, play and learning events, which are weekly hands-on learning play groups for families. We've started doing parent cafe experiences, which really gives parents an opportunity to come together and discuss parenting related topics and receive peer support and additional resources. And then our newest program is to address the educational needs of 3 and 4-year-olds in our community. And so we want to ensure that families know how to access existing community resources to help get those needs met. And I wanted to just personally say that we're going to be, as an agency, hosting an inter-district collaboration session for all of the districts in our community to come together and share their successes, their challenges, their concerns with TK. So the invitation for that will be coming soon. I just wanted you all to put a face to the name, and I don't know how much time I have left, but the last, okay, oh, I'm doing good, thank you. Okay, so let me take a breath. Okay, so the last thing is I did bring some informational packets that maybe I can leave here with you all. I have 5, so I don't know if that's enough, but inside the packets, there's like family-friendly UPK fact sheets. There's a list of core services that our agency offers, just in case you're not familiar with everything that we provide. And then I did include a catalog of the free professional training development opportunities that some of your staff may benefit from. So once again, my name is Tondra. My contact information is also in the packets, which can I leave with you, Wendy? Okay, perfect. So thanks again for your time and enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank you very much.
Do I need to turn this off?
And I neglected to mention by bylaws and the Brown Act, we cannot comment on your comments, and thank you for them. Wendy, are there any other comments in this time?
I have no other comments.
No comments from the back, just one.
Public comments? Okay. All right, thank you very much. That'll close our public comments. We will now move to 6.1, our special presentation. I'll turn it to you, Dr. Silvers, to tell us a little more about this.
So I'm going to, really, first I just want to thank Maggie for the work that she's done on this. I'm going to defer to her. You have a very, very comprehensive.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. So just want to give you a little bit of a background that this year we are getting 2 one-time funds that the governor is sending down through the Literacy Investment Fund and the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. So these are one-time funds to be spent over the next 3 years. Being we kind of know where our money are, we wanted to put in front of you what the plan is for the district to be spending the money. And so the vision of the goal of the Literacy Investment Fund right now is we put together an ELA committee was really focused around LCAP goal number 2, which was student-centered whole child, and LCAP goal number 3, future ready. And then these are the actions that support it. But really what it is supporting our educators in evidence-based literacy instruction. So we're hearing a lot about the science of reading. And we know over the past 30 years in the state of California, we've really been doing balanced literacy in our classrooms. And unbeknownst to us in research, we're showing that, wow, there is some other research out there based on the science of reading that we need to get back to our structured components. And so really providing our staff the training that's needed to really get in front of our students to ensure that all kids can read at the highest levels. And so our first, our 3 goals are going to be enhance our literacy skills with our staff, really reduce our achievement gap. We know that when students can read, it helps in every subject area and their social emotional support and beyond. And then also just foster a culture of excellence among our community. So we are going to spend the first year really building a foundation around structured literacy, moving into full implementation inside of our classrooms, and then really moving to how we can sustain these everyday structured literacy practices within our classrooms. Sometimes you double click and sometimes you don't. Yeah, you never know. But this summer, we are going to be getting started with training in structured literacy. So all of our TK through 5th grade teachers were invited to a training that's supported by the Los Angeles County Department of Ed called Getting Reading Right. And it really is going to be like kind of boots on the ground and strategies that they can go implement in their classrooms tomorrow. So it's a 20-hour training divided. It's like 2 10-hour sessions or 2 hour 10 hours worth of 2-hour sessions based on all of these different strategies that can be implemented. And then these can be used outside of obviously our K-2 grades, in our 3 through 5 grades when we do have kids that come in with big gaps. And so we are going to be working closely with them. What we're really lucky was that we just happened to learn about this program right at the popularity and, onboarding of this funding when people knew about it within the district. And so we're having a private Wiseburn cohort for our TK through 5th grade teachers the week before school starts. So August 18th through the 22nd in the morning time, which we will be using part of these funds to pay our teachers to come in and do this training. Of course, we had actually 68 of our 82 teachers that need to do this training signed up to do it over the summer. I mean, bravo, our staff is so willing and wanting, this type of training to be used in their classrooms. And I mean, I just want to high five to all of them for being willing to do this. And of course, people had plans and things in action. And so they're going to be joining a cohort with Bellflower Unified. So they've kindly invited us into their cohort over the fall time. And so our 7 general ed educators will be being pulled out of their classrooms for a portion of the day for 5 days to be fully trained in this. So we plan that every TK through fifth grade teacher by December 1st will have this full implementation training. And then in the winter time, ABC Unified invited our middle school teachers to do a Closing the Gaps training with their staff that will be hosted after school time. So this is something that is new to their staff, but something that we had talked about if it had a potential. And that was just told to us last week that we were invited to join the cohorts with them. So that is pretty exciting to collaborate across, other school districts within our county, to work on that and hopefully develop relationships about how to use these strategies within your classrooms. And so with this big push, as we really do hope at the elementary level, as our focus during TCT time has been in mathematics, is now to also join in, the conversation around literacy as well, and how we're implementing these new strategies around our essential standards.
I can just say, I was
Yes.
just saying, like, these relationships don't happen by accident, so
Yeah.
thank you for advocating.
Yeah.
The relationship that you built outside to be able to allow us to be.
Right.
I mean, it's work that goes into that.
Yeah,
So
and
many
it-
wins in that. That's great.
And it is, and I have to say, like the work of the ELA committee, we met only a few times in the winter time, but they really were truthful and saying we don't have these strategies anymore. And it's no one's fault. No one does. And like, that's why there's no room in LACO for these trainings and their willingness, to be honest of where they're at and what they need to ensure that our kids can read. I mean, that's awesome for all of us.
Can you clarify something also? You mentioned, I think, pulling out 7 educators who'll get fully trained. Is it kind of like I hesitate to use this term because I know it's not, but like a mini TOSA idea where they'll be training the others, or?
No, the 7 teachers were they couldn't come in the summertime.
Oh.
So they're going to join a fall cohort. But that actually leads us to part of how we would like to spend this fund is, how do we support our teachers once they receive this training? And so, one other thing this first school year that we're going to look at is our curriculum. So our curriculum is based around balanced literacy. So how can we, now implement these structured practices? There's a lot of supplemental materials that are available that we could maybe start looking at as a staff once we receive this training to see, kind of what's the right fit. I always say, let's get the professional development, let's learn to drive, and then let's pick the car that we're going to drive with. And so we're going to really take an audit on what we have and what's out there to see if there's a supplemental material that we could use to, help enhance their practices in their classrooms. And so that committee is going to keep going. And then in year 2, really looking at going full implementation. If we have a new supplemental material, do we need some coaching and how to really be utilizing these strategies in our classroom on an everyday basis? And then again, with this, like in year 3, how do we sustain these practices every day? Is there anything that we're missing or we need? What type of audits do we need to do? And so with our hope of these funds, going a 4th time on this hit button, maybe this time. Hey, Jim, can you advance me a little bit?
Maggie,
Yeah.
Becca asked a really good question. I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure, I think it was one that's worth, it's that the question was, didn't we just adopt Wonders? And I mean, just kind of like, how does this interplay with Wonders?
Right.
And why are we now why are we now moving in this
Right.
direction? We're not really adopting, but.
Right. That's a great question. So Wonders was actually adopted in 2017-18, but what happens is we had a 7-year contract with them that had expired. So those supplemental materials that came with it, like the workbooks that we see, those consumables, that had expired. And so what we decided was let's sign on for another 3 years for receiving those materials that our kiddos need. And when we're talking about these supplemental materials, they're usually not at a great cost. It's not like a full adoption of a book. It's usually something kind of small that wouldn't be distributed to kids necessarily. It might be just routines and things that are there available for a teacher to help guide that instructional practice. So it would look a little bit different than a full textbook adoption because we're going to buy just a smaller, because usually a structured component, like when we're talking about vocabulary and letters and sounds, it usually is in our K2 classrooms for 15 minutes out of a day. It's like a routine that we start to do. So it might not be anything that we need to even move forward with the material in the upper grades. So that was just that approval was to extend that contract.
And I gave her some wrong info.
Okay.
You still clarify sort of the literacy movement too, and that we are looking for more material as it relates to science of reading.
Reading.
So
Right.
just a little bit on that.
Right.
And
So-
that's part of it.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do with this after we receive this training is do we have the right materials, with Wonders and the things that we have in our classrooms to support those structured literacies, like how to sound out things, how do we build on our vocabulary at our grades? How do we make students aware of the phonemic awareness of how letters blend? And so that is where we're going to look at a supplemental material to receive from. Does that help clarify?
Yeah,
So it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, no, I just to follow on, I guess part of what I'm questioning is if there's this move to the science of reading and Wonders doesn't do that, it's more on this balanced literacy. At some point, are we going to be asked to do a different adoption?
Right. Well, the ELA is right now in a framework build like we were with math a couple of years ago. That should be, the state is saying, finished around 2028, 29. So that was another reason to extend this, is let's wait for that to come out. But what we're finding is because that science of reading is really at that primary grade, the Wonders materials are good. Balanced literacy has some very good components. It's just missing one component, like some of that research. And so what can we buy to just help with that process, add on to our lessons that we already have? So you can use them kind of in combination with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we wouldn't move totally away from it. Great question. Okay, Jim. Okay, yeah, perfect. I think we went backwards. I'm going to stop clicking.
Okay.
You go. You're frozen too, so it's not me. All right, one more. That was the year
Someday
3
we'll get
focus.
it right.
Someday. Wonder if our little load died.
Are we there? Are we back?
We're here.
It's good.
So, yep, we're good here. So just some ways that we're gonna evaluate kind of I kind of summarized what we're gonna do for our year 3 was really just how do we sustain those literacy efforts that we've had. But really how, the most important thing is how do we evaluate where we're at? And so throughout this process is, once we receive this training is let's get some, feedback from our teachers of like, what else do we need? What supports do you need within your classroom to help sustain this? So you could advance one more slide. And so just giving out staff surveys to those, with the hope that with some of this literacy investment fund, we would be able to onboard an ELA coach. What is our coach's point of view? What are they hearing from groups as they meet with them during TCT time and beyond? Notes from our PLCs as our grade levels meet, what are they finding out that they need, and the supports that kids need, data that they're driving now that they're trying these new strategies in their classroom. And then obviously, our students, how are our students doing with this training? And we have, iReady checkpoints this year with our 3 diagnostic assessments that will be given. Multitudes this year will be onboarded. I mean, Multitudes is one of the reading difficulty screeners. We're gonna have our first data point there this school year. And then obviously our CASP data to show like, was this effective? Are our students receiving this? What do our kiddos need to continue to advance in their literacy skills? And these 2 funds kind of tie hand in hand. And you're going to see here, we have an estimated allocation of about $162,000 for our literacy investment fund. And I laugh to say that this is a little bit of cowboy math, but we know where our LREBG funds is, and this is a little bit more. So we're just saying it's the same as LREBG, but we might get a few bucks more with it. So, we hope we do. And so really focusing on the personnel, you're going to see one of the biggest costs there was that training of paying our teachers to go through the training. And then, you're going to see before you tonight, the contract for LACO with Getting Reading Right, the investment in that professional development. The curriculum and tools that we're buying, we're actually spending some of the literacy investment fund to purchase Sonde, which is a tier 2 and tier 3 program. When kids do flag for, reading difficulties, this is a great system to be used that can be used in tier 2 and in even tier 3. And our special education classrooms also use it when identified with things like dyslexia to help close those achievement gaps. And then our hope is to pay for part of our instructional coach, an ELA coach, when the funding comes through. And then obviously a little bit of a buffer for any unforeseen costs. We hope to continue our ELA committee and, to help do our audits and those next steps with the committee. And as you can see, that only funds part of the ELA coach, which these 2 funds, because they're one-time funds, do go hand in hand. So Jim, if you could advance to the next slide, we will talk a little bit about LREBG. So the Recovery Emergency Block Grant. And so not only are we going to use this partially for our onboarding of structured literacy, but we are as well in goal number 2, our student-centered whole child, action 2.4, moving to a standards-based report card. So we're going to use this one-time fund to help continue the work that our design team has already began. So you can advance one.
You know, as you're pausing here, can
Yeah.
you give us just a quick update of where that team is?
That team is at. So what we've done is we've made our district assessment vision, and we're just cleaning that up to make it like presentable to staff. And so what we're going to do is this school year, and that's actually within this plan. So we actually established the committee this year, and that committee is going to continue to meet this year. You're going to notice that another contract that's up for approval today is with Learner Center Collaborative. This is like their cup of tea. This is what this group is very known to do. And so they're helping guide this process for us and informing us and finding other, report cards and things from local districts and beyond about how and why we assess. And so this year, we're going to really codify that assessment plan, start building out rubrics around our assessments to help align us with how we do grade and why we grade, and, providing that feedback that's so necessary for our students, to move forward in their learning. And then our hope is in 2006 or 26, 27 is to be district-wide with a standards-based report card. So that was in the LCAP. So that would meet that 3-year goal, which we sure hope to give it a thumbs up that we've met that goal when we close out this LCAP.
And I think the intentionality of this work is going to be important, making sure that we're not watering down assessment and watering down grading. So, one of the things, and I'm not going to speak for him, I'm just going to say that Roger did have some questions about this as well. And so, Learner Center Collaborative. Okay.
No. I'm trying to get him to move on. Sorry. I'm like, really? No, go ahead.
Did you talk about the next meeting?
No.
Okay.
Sorry,
I
that was
know
just a
that,
signal.
Maggie has worked on Learner Center Collaborative giving, it's a big change, right? And I understand that. And I think Roger brought up some really good questions. So I want to make sure that we have an opportunity in September to bring Learner Center Collaborative together, or to us here at the board, so that you all could ask questions. We can provide, their slide deck up, beforehand, so that you have time to review it. But I just think that would be a good opportunity.
To be able to meet with
Just so you
them
know.
and see some of the work that they've done. Can you advance? Let's see, one more.
Sorry about that.
No, that was backwards. That's okay. One more. All right, no, back.
That threw me off, 'cause see, that one looked like.
I know, they're the same. I was trying to align them.
Sorry.
So as you can see, it was,
Here we are.
Mr. Kearney has a pretty good idea from his point people that we were going to receive close to about $162,000 for LREBG. And so based on that, the cost of our substitute teachers for our design days, believe it or not, it does cost a lot to have our teachers out of the classroom. We know they don't like it, but this work is so necessary for them to do. And so we estimate that to be about $15,000. The contract with Learner Centered Collaborative, not only are they going to meet with the 4 design days, they are doing a lot of work in our November Professional Development Day and February Professional Development Day, similar to what we did in 2024-25. They're going to come back and be working with all of our teachers on those dates, as well as with the design team leading with them. And so it's going to be a little bit different of a model. The cost for a pilot of a report card, because this is something we're going to want to try out in the springtime before we go district-wide to see, what are the kinks that we didn't see? What were our unintended consequences behind the things that we did? And then hopefully cover the rest of the ELA coach for the year. And then any contingency and reserve is that $15,000, just if we need other onboarding, or, we plan to do some community outreach when we are moving the report card. What is that going to look like? And so we wanted to kind of project a little bit of a buffer with that plan as well. But really with the focus, and you can move to the next slide, these do go hand in hand with our structured literacy practices and our literacy investment that we're going to be doing for our students. Is we do know when these things are really solid amongst the foundation of our district, it's going to help inform us and do better for students. And then obviously getting them reading. We know when kids can read, there's an opportunity that that no one could ever describe to anyone else. And, one thing that this committee, the ELA committee, came together with was ensuring the love of reading. And that is something that I think everyone in this room wants to do for everyone in this community. And we hope with this investment that we're going to be able to give our thumbs up that we've done that. That's where we're at. So there's some contracts in front of you tonight. So thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Maggie.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the good work.
Yes,
Thanks.
thank you. Excellent.
Interrupted you.
No. worries.
All right, well, this now takes us
I would have forgotten. 4
Takes
slides
us
ago.
to section 7, reports and information, board member reports. Rebecca, why don't we start with you?
Sure. It's on, folks. Good evening, everyone. I mentioned this, I can't remember, but I guess I haven't spoken tonight in front of y'all. But last week I had the opportunity to attend the National Local Progress annual convening. It is a national organization of local elected officials who identify themselves as progressive, and we spent 5 days together, four days together in Chicago. Learning from each other. There are a number of school board members from across California who were there. And there were a lot of really, really interesting sessions that I attended. One in particular stood out on green schools, and I know we've just implemented solar, structure, carports and battery storage, which is a great start. And I'm really interested, and I've already been talking to Blake a little bit about this on the side about like, what else can we be doing to ensure that we're recapturing as much funding as we can, both from the federal government, but also from the state, maybe through the green banks and things like that, in order to support some of this. I was talking to Scott Houston from the Water District earlier today as well about maybe some funding that might be available with respect to like how we store water underground, and especially as we're redoing fields and things like that. So just, lots to think about, lots of conversations. It's always, you could go to conferences and come back with a million ideas, and then you're like, only 2 of those work. Noemi's going, don't give me more work, Rebecca. But it was really a wonderful conference. Kudos to the Local Progress national staff, many of whom are based here in California, both for the opportunity to collaborate and to connect with other elected officials around the country who are doing wonderful work. And so I was excited about that. Also got to attend the Chargers training camp this morning at the invitation of the team, and they opened their training camp today. So just want to say thank you to them for hosting us, and always fun to go out and see the facilities that are available here in our district. Looking forward to some more parts of those facilities becoming potentially available for use for activities, and how we might continue to partner with them on our activities for our students and families, since they're here in our backyard, quite literally. And then, like I said, we've had the opportunity to talk to Scott Houston from the Water District today, because aviation has some new bottle filling stations, which we're really excited about. So also thank you to them for that. So it's, busy summer and all of that, but that's what I got.
All right.
Thank you.
Rebecca. Appreciate always bringing us new ideas from your work. That is, by the way, why we are dressed like triplets here. That's for this photo, and thank you to Scott and the Water Basin for their donations. Nelson.
Thank you, Neil. Not much for me tonight. I've been obviously out on vacation, but glad to be back. I agree with Rebecca. It is a busy summer in Wiseman. I got to witness a little bit of that today. I had a chance to see a small snippet of the projects taking place at Del Air with the baseball field. Very excited about that. It's looking good. Do have some suggestions there that I mentioned to Blake that might add a little bit of work to Noemi and Cherie, but that's okay.
Nothing else to do right now.
But with a little bit of time, I want to take a look at it. And then had a chance to take a walk there at Aviation and see a little bit of the work that's taking place there. So a lot of good things happening. I'm looking forward to after you get back, Blake, of taking some more site walks and seeing all the activities taking place. But kudos to the facilities team and the maintenance team for all the work that's taking place on campus throughout the district. That's it for me.
Thank you, Nelson. Well, I too, a happy summer, everybody, by the way. Did have a chance, I joined you at the Chargers thing today. They continue to donate to our Rock Around the Block. We appreciate that, obviously. That's a relationship we'd like to continue building. We appreciate them offering that today. We keep joking about Noemi and Cherie, who through NAZ manage all of the projects and facilities that are going on with the district right now. And if you're not visiting any of our campuses, you're not seeing a tremendous amount of activity. Very excited to see the classrooms getting new ceilings, getting new floors. So that's on our agenda this evening. The multi-purpose rooms getting new flooring, the gym getting new flooring, the baseball field at Del Air, the sports complex at 135th and Aviation. The list goes on. And it's really impressive. It's really exciting. And I think people are our students and our staff are really going to enjoy coming back to see some great things happening in the district from a facilities perspective. So thank you to Archie. Thank you to the team, Sean, everybody involved in that. Well, that does it for me. Let's go to our superintendent and the report from the team.
Sure. I'm just gonna, one comment, Kim Jones actually was gonna, had a presentation today. We're gonna go ahead and do that at the next meeting. She's unable to be here today. So we'll move on to other reports. Maggie already gave her. Sean, you don't have any today. I don't think I missed that.
I was just gonna say.
Give your update, Sean. Go
Yeah.
for it.
We have a budget committee meeting on July 28th, Monday at 5 o'clock. So it's open for anyone to attend. We'll be kind of doing like a 30,000 foot kind of budget 101 overview. We'll kind of break it down a little bit further into like federal, state, and local kind of funding sources. We'll go over the 45-day budget revision. And then we'll also kind of go into depth a little bit about like our individual cost centers and how those are kind of worked through with the different departments and school sites. And then I'm super bummed that I missed the Chargers event this morning. Diehard Charger fan, so I'm so happy that we'll be working with them in the future and try to support that.
And we can do the Brown Act. Of course, we can only have two members
Exactly.
attend.
Yes.
That is our President Roger and Rebecca are on the budget committee. I need to share with you that if either of you cannot attend, please let me know. Remain very interested here. As you know.
I know.
Thank you for that. Neil.
Thank you.
I just had one question for you, Sean. I think we got a little bit of a report about this, but we know the state of California has joined a lawsuit about the impounding of federal dollars. Can you just give us a quick, high level overview of what
Yes,
what
okay.
that means for the district?
Yeah, so the state of California is officially suing the federal government along with some other states in regards to the withholding of federal funds for the district. It's a portion of Title I funds and then Title II through III. So for the district, that funding, if we were to lose it, it equivocates to about a little over $80,000. So we do have contingency plans in place to utilize some of our state funding, our one-time restricted dollars if we did have that impact. So that's kind of ongoing. We're waiting to see kind of what ultimately is the result of that.
Is that impacting the 45-day revise of the budget? I'm assuming we've removed that money from it.
So through some of kind of our channels through school services, capital advisors group who are kind of tuned into like the legislative side and kind of offer guidance on how do we kind of properly account for these. Specifically with kind of this federal dollar impact, they've kind of recommended that we don't include any kind of action in our 45-day budget revision. They're hoping that kind of with this current lawsuit and kind of anything other that's pending to kind of revisit it at like our first interim budget
So we're
reporting
leaving
period.
it in
to
at the
make-
moment under the assumption that the
That
law
it's-
will be, the suit will be successful. But
The
we'll
federal
know more
government will start
after that.
following the law and release funds that have been allocated by Congress.
Right.
It's just
Basically, right.
And that we would then reestablish our baseline at first interim report. At the first, if we needed to, we would change it at first.
Yeah, if we needed
Got
to
it.
do any sort of revision as a result of the conclusion of that lawsuit or anything else that comes about, then we
$86,000
will
is
update
material,
it.
but not devastating.
But not-
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We still receive, Title I, Part A, that's not part of that conversation. We do receive a significant amount of federal funding for like special ed. That's not part of that conversation as well. So it's just, that's kind of the impact of the district is about 80,000 through
And I think Rebecca's comment was well said. This is not suing to get money that's not already allocated by Congress. We're simply saying, don't take away that which is already been allocated, please. Thank you.
Yeah, any updates that we have, I'll be happy to bring those to the state.
Yeah, I just think it's important for our, just like our families to understand what the impact of the federal actions is directly, that it does impact us directly, that it's not just theoretical. And unfortunate that that's happening, but yeah, thank you for that.
All right, I just wanna, I think I should lead off by saying tomorrow is our last day of ESY, our extended school year. This is for students with special needs who are in our summer school program as part of an extended school year. Had a chance to visit the school, quite a bit during the summer, and really just want to say thank you to the teachers that, really, it's just nice to see, when you go into the classrooms, it's really uplifting. There's not a negative thing I could say about seeing just good teaching and kids excited to be there. Obviously the highlight of the teachers and the students is there. I also want to point out that we spent the summer piloting also Samsung display board, smart board type thing. Similar to what you have back there. Obviously, that's a more expensive Cisco board. We're not looking at a Cisco board. Ultimately, we want to put these in every classroom. It is part of our furniture the upgrades that we're doing right now. Currently, we're looking at furniture. We'll have an update on the furniture probably at the August meeting. I'll share with the board, but part of that is the Samsung board. So far, obviously there's going to be pros and cons to everything. This is a very, very good price point on these boards. Operationally, they seem to be working really well. I've had a chance to check in with some of the teachers that are using them right now. We have 3, I believe, that are using them, or 4. And this is a really good, solid, sturdy device. Certainly not perfect, but none of them are. And I'm really excited to kind of wrap this up and then start seeing these in classrooms as well. So soon we'll start working with Jim and WN Caradell or Samsung to try and get these boards ordered in some way. We're just not sure how that's going to be. We know obviously they're probably long lead items or longer lead items as well. So just have to figure out how we're going to phase them in. So now that we have some feedback on them, we'll go into the beginning of the year and start figuring out how to get them to the classrooms as well.
And what would be the ideal timeline or projected timeline? For that?
I think I need to process that a little bit more, just only because the furniture timeline is changing. And I didn't have a full update for the board on that, but we are looking at potentially a furniture change and maybe looking at furniture in the summer. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, only to say that we're gonna have to weigh that just to see what makes sense in terms of when we roll new furniture and a new type of display board out. I probably feel more comfortable in August, maybe.
Well, I think where I was going is actually slightly, I appreciate that, was given tariff unknown, that might be part of this equation, because this is not an immaterial investment. I don't know if that would affect it, but
Sure.
worth considering.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Also want to say, I had a chance to walk this morning with Nelson and Miguel from NAZ to see the baseball field, the Da Vinci Connect site. Just really looks awesome. And there's some areas that we need to look at and fix. There's going to be some punch list items that we're going to have to go through. Some issues with home plate. Just little things. I don't bore you with them, but there's just some areas that we're looking at. We are going to be, Noemi's team. I just have to say they're very critical of the work that's getting done, and so I know we'll have a strong punch list. We'll have a large punch list. We'll get through those things. But all in all, it's just a really nice field. And to Nelson's point, I know you didn't say it, Nelson, but looking at maybe extending grass into the Little League field and irrigation there too. When you see like the small footprint that's left, it does beg the question. And obviously this is a new conversation, but something that, when you're standing out there and see, it's like, this is all we have to do more, it may just be something worth taking a look at. And so we've already actually started those conversations, had a chance to chat with Noemi today about it. So we're going to take a look at a contractor that maybe could come out, and we'll have to decide whether that's going to be deferred maintenance costs for the district, routine maintenance costs for the district, because we're also coupling that with rolling out in September, likely some fees for some of our user groups as well to help us maintain the fields. Historically we've done free use of our field, and it's just not tenable for a district to do that. And we're not talking about, you know, these exorbitant costs or anything, fee structures or anything like that, but certainly something that can help us maintain the fields a little bit, you know, PM, preventive maintenance, some routine maintenance, and certainly some of our deferred maintenance costs that we may have down the road. There, you know, also having a chance to walk with Rebecca, Neil, and Nelson, walk around the campuses and see some of the flooring work that was done, the access control that was done.
Right.
And I'm just gonna echo, you know, the immense, you know, amount of work that is happening on our campuses right now, and the large bins that are basically across our campuses. But really, the work is moving along nicely. We are next week gonna start seeing the signage project starting as well. So we haven't even started all the projects yet, and there's a lot. You know, you saw the signage project, there's still some work in the multipurpose rooms. We also are gonna be looking at, we're starting the gate access control. We haven't done that yet, and so we still have locks on the exterior gates. So the exterior gates will now start, that process will start next week or the next couple weeks. So really, just a lot going on, and a lot of good things going on. The classrooms look fantastic. The contractors have really done a nice job, and I'm sure there's some little punch list items that we're gonna have to walk through and fix. But for the most part, it's been a really professional job. Looks really nice, looks really clean, smells really nice in the classrooms. It's just a nice look and a nice feel in the classrooms. And then also, you know, to share, Neil, you know, we talked a little bit about this, just seeing in the classrooms that have the new furniture in them, you know, and the carpeting, and it's a home run.
Yeah.
And, you know, working towards that is our goal right now. And obviously, as I said, we just don't have a timeline. We're gonna have to look at survey results, which Shuri just shared with us today. So we're able to start pulling some of those survey results from the furniture pilot, and then be able to make some, and that's why I just don't have an update for the board specifically today, but wanna really process that and then get back to it in August. On top of that, had an opportunity to join you all also at the Chargers event today, and members from the city, and it's just it was a really nice event, a nice chance for us to just see the player and talk, and Nick McLaughlin and Elizabeth Cantor were there from the Wiseburn Education Foundation. And so just seeing Wiseburn there and represented was really nice. And obviously, you know, the Ed Foundation is such a wonderful partner, and just really appreciative of their support. I mean, that's them being supportive of our community by being out there with us today. And so just really appreciate that time. That's all I have today. Awesome. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Silvers.
Yeah.
You know, it just struck me that, so living in Del Aire, I walked over to the fields, and what I could see, because I just didn't go around at that time, was actually the thing I'm actually pretty excited about, in addition to the field itself, is the play area for the Connect kids. That's just such a win. And I don't know if part of our walking involves the Da Vinci team at all, or some of the board members there, but that would be a collective win that would be fun to do together. So something maybe to think about. So, and we appreciate their support in helping us finance this.
Yeah. Much better play area.
Yeah, super great.
Yeah, and just reiterate what you said about the new carpets and things in those refreshed rooms. I really the flooring and stuff, it's so much brighter, like just walking into the rooms. Like you can just already see that, like, you know, some rooms that I remember being very dark and gray, like, you know, they just look brighter without even the lights on. It's pretty awesome. So thank you to NAZ for all the work and, you know, actually picking the fixtures and finishes that are going into there, because they really do look, they are making the spaces brighter just by like small touches. So thank you.
And the quality of the materials. Thank you for the choices. We talked to maintenance crew. It's going to help them make life a little easier for them, so we can keep it looking good longer. Fantastic. All win.
Yeah, Raphael walked us around. That was really awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Really cool. Raphael is one of our fantastic custodians at the middle school. Walked us around today. That was super cool. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to public comments, items on the agenda, our second public comments. Wendy, do we have any public comments for items on the agenda? All right, having none, we will move to consent items. And item 9.1, which is to approve the consent agenda, basic agenda, essentially all the items 9.1 through 9.11, as all matters listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted with one vote, assuming I have a motion for that.
You got a motion.
Second.
Thank you, Rebecca. We'll mix that up next time, maybe.
I don't know, Nelson's pretty fast. at
Any
this thing.
comments or issue or items you'd like to address, 9.2 through 9.11? No comments. Having had a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Action items, general number 10, 10.1, receive board policies for first reading. And Dr. Silvers, do we need to read these?
No, we don't have to read them. No, it's just, there was just some minor edits to update these documents. So it's, this will be your first reading, and then we'll bring this back at the next meeting as well.
Okay.
And I think in the update, we highlighted the limited changes that were in there. So you have that if you need it, and next meeting, we'll have it on here again.
Move to approve 10-1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. How's it hear you?
Aye.
We gotta have 3-0.
Aye.
Got it. There we go. All right, moving to facilities. And I do think we need to take these individually.
I was gonna make a recommendation to motion 11.1 through 3 if there's no objections to that.
I
Dr.
think we can
Stillman?
do that. No, I mean, are you okay with, I think we can do that. Yeah, I would say it's fine, as long as you all are okay with the
Yeah.
contents of it. Yeah.
And again, by the way, I want to say thank you to Dr. Silvers for my lengthy meeting going through all this. Thank you very much. So therefore,
Yeah, a motion for 11.1 through 11.3.
Second.
thank you. Any comments or questions? I will simply say the demo of the door access controls today was pretty cool. I love this. I love it. Our first assurance is safety. This adds more safety as it tracks who's in what room at what time. We're going to be having these ultimately on the exterior of all our campuses to get in, so we won't have floating keys. Very exciting.
Can I add to that too, Dr.
Please.
Bowman? I just think too, it's like, it's a comprehensive solution as well. So it's not just the access control, but it's also access control tied to PA systems, tied to camera systems.
Right.
So everything talks to each other, I guess. is
And
what I'm
give us
trying
a
to say.
specific example. So for example, someone's trying to get into a room, they're unsuccessful, they shouldn't be there. What's happening with the cameras?
So the cameras can pick that person up. It's as simple as that, or, you know, for instance, at a certain time of evening, 10 PM, say, if we said we have to set the parameters, if an individual's walking on or near our campuses and gets picked up by particular cameras, the PA system will actually activate, ensure that they're on district properties. And, unfortunately, there are people at times that try to access public spaces when they shouldn't, and when public spaces are closed and it's no longer really open for the public. So we just have some extra protections there. And so it's all sort of intertwined. There's also our ability, like on weekends, to be able to do more of a double factor, multi-factor type entrance. I know Jim has been really a big proponent of that. Thank you for that, Jim, too. Some of the recommendations he's given us in terms of needing to not only use your card, but also use some sort of push pin, a pin on some of those exterior doors and gates just to give us more security and safety.
And we got the staff having some experience with these cards, carrying them toward the end of last year, right? So this is not going to be completely new.
Kind of. I mean, I think it's still going to be a little bit new. Yes, we did pass out cards. Everybody does have an ID card, or most people do. These are going to be different cards. They actually, the cards we have now have to have the chip in them.
Right.
So the process of having cards, yes. And I know the leadership team has done a really good job of displaying that and making sure that, we're wearing our badges or cards as we're walking around campuses, and that'll just be something that you'll need to get into classrooms. So.
And Maggie and Sean, you and look, no doubt everybody else is going to be helping people get into the school.
Yeah, on the first day.
On the first day.
Yeah.
If we have any Jim and Noemi.
Noemi.
Just to ensure we have no problems getting in. All good. All right. Did I call for a vote on that?
Not yet.
Not yet. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, fantastic. Let's move to, I believe we're on 11.1, right?
Item 12.
Item 12, I'm sorry, there we go. I can't follow what we're doing. Yeah, 12, so 12.1 and 12.1 and 12.2, I'd like to recognize 12.3. So can I have a motion for 1 and 2, please?
So moved.
Rebecca, thank you.
You have a second?
Thank you. Nelson? All right, any comments or questions regarding 12.1 and 2? These are support services and support software that will continue to help us be efficient and effective in running the district.
Yeah, and I just think 12.1, I'll speak for Sean on this one and just say that, we don't have a director of fiscal services and we have lots to do in the business office. And so this just gives us an opportunity to support business office and support, our CBO and doing the work of the CBO. So
Ever since Sean lost his third hand, he needs.
Right, exactly.
We appreciate you, Sean. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0 passes again. 12.3, approve LA County Arts Education Collective Advancement Grant Agreement.
So moved.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Second.
Thank you, Nelson. This is a $20,000 600 grant to further our arts education. Exciting. Do I have that number right? No, it is
25,000.
25,000. And just thank you to the LA County Arts Education Collective. We appreciate it very much.
This was one of the ones that our grant writer submitted for us? Or was this
That's
one just-
correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that's
so just recognizing again the work that Bridget's been doing for us and another success, right? Is it's number 5?
Yeah, no, I think this is one she shared at the
Okay.
last meeting, but actually number 5 came and it was in my notes to talk about, and I apologize, I didn't. But we did actually receive the implementation grant or the startup grant plus the associated implementation grant of the CTE programming at the middle school. So this will allow us to start building out the music media pathway. There's going to be a lot more work needs to be done there because we have to continue to outfit the space. But at least this gives us an opportunity to get going. So the total of that grant was about $75,000. So we're 100% so far.
This is a very exciting joint investment from the district and WEF for a grant writer, something we talked about in the past and said, will this work? 5 for 5 and 3 possibly more in this first run. Bridget's done a terrific job and we're very pleased.
I have to give Rebecca credit for, I think she was talking to me about this before she was on the board. And now here we are on the board and we finally got to Rebecca. Thank you.
Sometimes you get to tell me, I told you so, and now I get to tell you.
Total win.
But it's a win for all of our
Win for all, win
families
for the
and
kids.
students,
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Total win. And again, thanks to WEF for co-funding it.
Mhm.
Let's go to item 12.4,
Well,
approve
we need to
master.
approve that one.
Did we not
have to
vote on it?
vote, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that would help, wouldn't it? I loved it so much, I just went right on. All right, I have a motion in a second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was 12.4, right? Or
Three.
That was 12.3.
12.3.
I'm doing such a good job keeping us
All right.
going. Now we're going to 12.4. Now we're approving master contracts for the 25-26 school year. May I have a motion here?
Motion with a comment.
Thank you, Nelson.
Second.
Second, thank you, Rebecca. Your comments.
Just want to recognize the work of Kim, Sean, and the entire staff. Obviously, there's been some significant savings, obviously offset with some internal hires, but just want to recognize the work that's been done here. And this is with regards to contracts for special ed services. So just want to recognize everyone's hard work.
Thank you. And I also want to throw Nisha in there as well, because I believe we went out to hire earlier than we had in the past with great success. And basically the bottom line is this is saving us significant dollars that we are replacing with internal people. So we have our own internal resources and capabilities. Thus, we're not having to go outside, which is saving us money and having more, one would expect even better services.
Yeah.
So that's a total win.
Absolutely.
Budget, services, students, team, well done.
Huge team effort.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yes. Thank you to all involved. Sorry, Nisha, I left you out.
And just reiterating the thanks to Kim, because I know that she inherited a little bit of a mess in terms of the contracts and that there were some things that we saw over the last year that we would have liked to see sooner and stuff. And I know she put in a lot of work to make sure that the contracts look good going into the next school year. So she's not home, but maybe that'll make her feel better that she's not here today.
Feel better, Kim, well done. We appreciate that.
Just the pride, there's a lot of pride in this. I mean, these are just numbers on a paper for many of us, but there's just a ton of pride and hard work that goes into every one of these. And I just, I really can't say enough for Kim's work on everybody's work really, I'm gonna point out Kim as a lead on this to put together a package here. That's just really awesome. So
Appreciate it.
Well, and the attendant hiring of district staff so that there is like consistency and continuity for the students is part of the thing that, you know, I'm really grateful for and hope that we can continue to train new folks who we already have. I know we've been doing that over the last year and specifically with the RBTs. So looking forward to more of that.
Awesome. Thank you all for your comments. And Kim, if you're listening, we appreciate it.
Feel better.
Yeah. So all in favor of 12.4?
Hi.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Any other comments or questions or items to bring to our attention before we adjourn? I have a motion to adjourn.
You have a motion to adjourn.
I'm going to second that one.
Great job, Neil. It's
There we go.
6:58. Rogers out.
There we go.
Roger's
We are adjourned. Thank you for coming, everybody. Appreciate your time and attention. Thank you. Have a good evening.